My name is Rory Arredondo. I'm the Hacker Success Manager here at ETHGlobal. And one of my main responsibilities is basically ensuring that you all have the tools, resources, guidance, information, and knowledge necessary in order to successfully, complete one of our events. But not just also one of our events, also just even, if you're considering applying to attend our events, or if you're just curious about Web3. So we're trying to expand our knowledge, information that we provide to you all, to the hackers, and to our community members. And so yeah, that's kind of what my main role is. And so then we'll also provide support, during the event, before the event, even after the event. So that's something we're working to flesh out as well in terms of processes and just resources and guidance that we can provide hackers after the event's done. But yeah, welcome. If this is your first event for ETHGlobal, definitely welcome. We're glad to have you here. This is your second or third or 10th. Also welcome to have you back. We definitely try to improve upon each of our events, successfully after they're done. So if you do have any feedback or comments about this session, or once you're done with ETHOnline, or even during, feel free to send me an email or to let me know. You can send anything. I'm typing in the chat. You can send wait, where'd it go? Chat. Responses. You can send it to hello@ethglobal.com. There, I just sent it the email address in the chat. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything, just definitely reach out to me via that email address. And yeah, there was one other question. What were the requirements to get accepted? For ETHOnline, I think ETHOnline is one of the events, the online events, that we don't have really any requirements. We accept everybody, I think. It's just because there's no specific theme to ETHOnline. It's basically just whatever your mind can come up with. Some of our online events, like Super Hack, is aimed around the super chain from Optimism. So we had World Coins or Optimism, and I forget the other partner, but some of our events were specific. Early in the year, there's Autonomous Worlds as well, which is online gaming. So ETHOnline is very broad in that regard, and that's why it's probably one of our largest events, because there really isn't a specific theme other than Ethereum. But yeah, this is also a good way for folks, if you're completely new to our ecosystem, then it's a good way for you to develop your GitHub, to kind of build your repos, just to get a better understanding for what exactly ETHGlobal is all about, and how to navigate yourself through through this whole, through these next couple of weeks through your journey for hacking. So let's wait a few more people, but yeah, so I'll go through this. So what you see here on my page is your hacker dashboard. If you haven't already logged in, or definitely do so. If you haven't already connected your Discord, you can definitely do that as well. And this is important because a lot of our communications will also be through the Discord channel, and I'll kind of go over that in a second. It's kind of here in the background. But one of the things I wanted to make sure is that the Discord's connected, but then also a lot of people, the main thing that people, especially if you're new, may have questions on is finding team members. So if you're on your hacker dashboard and you scroll down a bit, and you're able to see, if you currently have a team, you'll see all your team members here. And then if you click this, I agree to my Discord username being shared, and you click find team members, you'll be able to see other hackers that have opted in for this as well. So, and you can also search by and filter by your interest, skills, software experience, languages. And whenever you do that, this table will update and will provide every other hacker's information. So their Discord, tools, role, their software experience in years. So you'll see hackers that want to join a team and teams that are looking for more members. So one really neat thing about this, and why I mentioned connecting the Discord, is that if you come across maybe a hacker profile that you like, you can click on their name, Discord, and then it will take you actually to their profile, where you can actually message them. Just make sure that if you're not maybe used to using Discord, that you have your DMs turned on and open, so that way people can message you and add you as a friend. But this is one of the main reasons why we have folks, connecting their Discord, so you can easily just connect with anybody that you come across. One thing that I'm going to try and push for, but for the next couple of days, is to have a time zone. I know it's for some people, everybody's based all over the world, and it can be quite important depending on which time zone you're in. So we're going to try and get a field added to this table that says where people's time zones are. So that way it makes it more easier for you all to work with one another. If it's easier to work, within Asia time zone or European time zone, but also people have success working 24/7, just chasing the sun. So somebody's based in America and their teammates are in Asia, then you can also just hand off your work as you go along through the next couple of weeks. So this is just stuff that you need to plan and prepare amongst yourselves and your team members as well. So but that's one thing I really wanted to share. The other thing when it comes to team members too is we did have this, I sent this earlier, but we have this kind of another way for you all to interact with the teams in a more visual representation. But this team formation slides, and I'll share it in the chat. This is another way to kind of relay your information from your profile. So it's you can fill out one of these, this blank one, and then it just fill it out, and then other people, obviously other hackers, can find this information and see it as well. So as you may or may not have known, if we go to Discord and you see the Find a Team channel, basically everybody's providing their information here as well, what their skills are, what projects they want to work on. So having this is just another visual way to do so. And the reason why we're doing this is because right now our dashboard, this actual dashboard, isn't fully doesn't have this capabilities just yet. So eventually in the very near future, this will be you will be able to click on somebody's profile, and you can see then all this information that's in the table that people share here, but then also people's history within ETHGlobal. People's, if you attended 10 different hackathons, you'll be able to see this is the 10 hackathons that they've participated in. These are the prizes that they won. So it's a really cool feature that we're sort of trying to work on. But in the meantime, these are the other options that we're providing folks. But yeah, this is another way to kind of find team members as well. And then like I said, yeah, people have been commenting on the Discord Find a Team channel, for the past couple of weeks or so. So definitely, again, take advantage of this, scroll through it, see if somebody you connect with or an ID you connect with. And make sure that your DMs and your friend requests are open, because that Discord, it's very funny that way, that you can't necessarily message somebody unless they're willing to accept DMs or friend requests. So but yeah, that's kind of one of the main things. And so like there will be a project team formation and brainstorming sessions this week. So if I go back here, go to the schedule, you'll see all the different events coming up. So this is, keep in mind, we're still adding some workshops and events and summits throughout these next couple of weeks. But I would definitely keep an eye on the schedule, and you also receive calendar invites and reminders and everything as well. But the hacker dashboard, this schedule is like living, breathing document. So keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on your Discord. This is where all the information is going to be provided for you all. So if you have any questions, chances are it's going to be here. Of course, we'll answer any questions that messages you send us. But yeah, it's just keep that in mind. So one of the things is, so tomorrow we have the idea of brainstorming team formation session. So I'll be hosting that tomorrow morning. And if you can't make that, there will be another one, let's see, a Friday evening as well. So we kind of have early morning and late evening to try and cover all the different time zones. But yeah, you all should have received calendar invites for this as well. So yeah, Julian, yeah, to your comment, yeah, calendar invites are definitely the best way to stay updated. So yeah, if we have a workshop that's been added, you will receive a calendar invite for that. Anything that's on here, other than if it's an actual workshop or something going on, you will receive an invite. So this little reminder, you wouldn't receive an invite. Actually, I think you would have received an invite for this maybe. But there are certain things that wouldn't be, maybe like actual calendar invite. But we do have notifications. We do send notifications in the event schedule channel as well. So But those one things I wanted to really kind of go over from like a team formation perspective. I did get a question earlier in the channel about somebody's, like if I go back, actually I think it was in a different channel, but basically somebody wasn't sure that their team member had been accepted or had applied yet. So if you do, if you go back to your dashboard, you'll be able to see everybody that's part of your team. So if there's somebody that's a part of your team, but maybe they haven't been haven't staked or accepted yet, just double check with them, make sure. We do have notifications that do pop up. Just because I'm the only one here, I don't actually see those notifications, but whoever you want to be on your team, if they haven't applied yet, tell them to do so. If they haven't staked yet, tell them to do so. They're able to do so until at least tomorrow evening or Friday early morning. But we just want to make sure that everybody that's part of your team is actually have their staked and confirmed to participate. The reason why is because whenever it's time for project submissions, whenever you submit your project, you will another warning will pop up saying that somebody is not a confirmed member yet, and so they won't be, if you win a prize, they won't be considered. So, and if they're maybe if they haven't applied yet or staked yet, and they're committing code to your repo, then that's also an issue, because that means that somebody's been writing code for your team, but they're not necessarily considered a team member. So just make sure that anybody that you want to work with has applied, has staked their ETH. Yeah. So that was that. So the thing, okay, you got the team, right? So if you're looking for ideas, if you go to the prizes section, this has all of our partners listed, and then all of their information around prizes, any docs or Notion pages on how to maybe get familiar with the different partners. And then also some of them do have project ideas as well. So in case you're kind of stuck on what exactly you want to work on, a lot of the partners, their bounties kind of provide you a little bit of clarity around maybe what they're looking for, but could also be useful for giving you ideas as well. So if you haven't taken a look at this, I would definitely suggest doing so as well. And then if you're curious, maybe, well, what happened maybe last year, because last year's event was really big. We have this is our Twitter thread from last year's finalist. So if you're curious maybe what people did last year, I would suggest taking a look at that. So I will send you the link in the chat as well. And then also you can actually physically get a visual idea for what goes on during the closing ceremony if you're selected as a finalist. And I'll go over that a little bit later, but I'll send the link here again too. But I would suggest having a read through this Twitter thread. You can go to the project showcase page. So if you click on here, it'll take you, and whenever you're done submitting a project, everybody gets a showcase page that you can share with any potential employers, colleagues, anybody basically. But this will have all your demo video, a few things that you submit for your project. That everything will be displayed here, and then also shows what your prizes are and description and everything. So yeah, I mean, definitely take a look through this, go through the showcase page, and just see kind of what people did last year. These are the top 14 finalists, so this will definitely give you a better idea for what I guess what people are capable of, or what you're capable of doing for the next couple of weeks. And then in the finale, whenever you go through it, you can actually see when people are presenting. I don't want to see a demo or an ad, but you'll be able to get to see what people are presenting during the actual closing ceremony. So yeah, that was that. There was a few questions I missed. Let me just go up real quick. For the prizes, some of them still haven't clarified the bounties, etc. Is there a due date for them? Is there a date time we can expect that page to have complete information? Yeah, so some of them, they're still working on it. It should be by the end of this week, for sure. We'll double check and make sure that the partners do provide this information. But yeah, a lot of them should have this by the end of this week. I think that's a good question, Hayden. Thank you for that. Are new sponsors going to join mid hackathon? We don't generally have that happen, partners will join, right before right before hacking begins this Friday. So I don't think there's ever been a case where a partner has joined mid hackathon, just because of the logistics and around it and getting everybody's information, price information involved. So yeah, I wouldn't think I don't think that will happen. I have a project idea, but when I tried to fill out the project form on the website, there were too many technical details required. How can I complete the forms when I'm open to using various technologies at this stage? Of course, discuss the right team, but it's easy to vary. Yeah, so for the project details, yeah, if you go back, it's because in the project page, you are able to provide some information now. Just you can provide the name, what emoji best represents your project, description and stuff. So I've got just test data here. But this is, you're able to update this right up to the very last minute. So if you want to put something down that whether for the media upload or the tech stack, you're able to change this right before you submit your project on at Sunday. So it shouldn't, you're not able to submit everything for the project because not the UI isn't fully open for this yet. But you can edit this up until the last minute, basically. So I don't know if that answered your question or not, Julian, but hopefully it did. I'm new to coding and I want to challenge myself to build a project from scratch all alone while learning Solidity. Do you think it's doable? It's not my first hackathon though. I think it's very doable. And we have, there are a lot of different workshops that'll be coming up, and there's also, even this is still going. Okay. Yeah, to go back to it, this kind of gives you an idea for how the finalists present their projects. This is a live demo, but that they're doing. But if you haven't seen any of this already, I would definitely take a look through and just see like one or two projects and see kind of what they're doing. Yeah, for the question about learning Solidity and challenging yourself, like I would take a look at our the ETHGlobal page, and there should be like a lot of different, so is that not on here? Well, we do have a lot of different workshops. I don't know the quickest way to find exactly, what you would need, but, if you go to the playlists, there's a ton of content and information on here from our previous online events and just in-person events and events in general. So there's bound to be a lot more workshops that maybe haven't been scheduled for this ETHOnline, but that we've held in the past. So again, if you're not sure how to do something, or you need more ideas as well, I would also just suggest take a look through our YouTube channel for past content, because there's just a lot of different content within each of these different playlists from our tens and tens of events that we've held. But yes, Mateus, I think it's very doable. And this is, there's no better way to challenge yourself than a hackathon. Yeah, you can apply to multiple partner bounties. There's no limit to that. If a project doesn't fall under any of the categories, we can make a category. So if there's something that maybe that doesn't, just send me an email or send us an email. Maybe there's something that we should add as a category. What happens if I don't get a team? Can I just submit an idea and work on it alone? Yes, so that's a great question. You don't necessarily have to have a team. Team member limits are up to 5 team members, but you can also hack solo. So you don't have to join a team at all. And it's up to preference. Some people do prefer only working working alone. Others prefer the teams, but there is a limit of 5 team members. So that's just the cap. Like you can't have more than 5 team members part of your team. Can I submit? Yeah. So yes, you can submit a project solo. You can always ask yeah, what's the ETHOnline finalist? Good question. So I'll cover that in a little bit. I'll go over the finalists in a little bit, actually. Well, maybe we can do that now. So yeah, we'll let me see. So I've covered the partners and the prizes. Real quick before I kind of talk about the finalists and judging. The mentors, we have a couple of different mentors as well who aren't part of our partners. They are independent or with their own companies, maybe that aren't partners for this event, but these are again are folks that are very knowledgeable in the space, have a lot of experience with hackathons or running companies or just a lot of different projects and portfolios. So you're welcome to message these folks as well. Connect with them via Twitter or their Discord. And then you also see the time zone. So I mentioned earlier about the time zones for the Find a Team page. So we're going to try and add this to the Find a Team page within the next couple of days. But these folks, the mentors, are here to help you all as well. So there's a mentorship help channel that they'll be keeping an eye on, and then I'll be working with them a lot as well to make sure that they answer all any technical questions you have. But also, going back to the partners too, if you haven't seen this already, the partners have their own channels as well. So what you saw on the partners prizes page would be here too, and this will be updated if they haven't provided information. But if you have a specific question on a partner's tech stack or anything, this is also the best place to reach out to them too. So maybe if you're want to build something on Polygon and you're not sure of something, their dev roles, everybody from their team, they're monitoring their own specific partner channels. So definitely, don't forget to reach out and ask them questions here. I mean, that's what they're there for. They're here to provide resources and guidance and answer questions you may have. So don't be afraid to ask them something. That's what they're here for. They want people to build on top of their technologies. They want people to get familiar with it and hopefully provides a good experience for everybody here that's going to be hacking. Let me see, I think I missed a question. Okay, is front end important for judgment or just functionality or technology? What are more important for judgment? Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so I'll cover that in judging in a little bit, but yeah. Basically the question, is front end important for judging? If judging is, it's kind of a bunch of different criteria. So this is a good point to show the info center. So if I go to the info center, this information center is exactly what it sounds like. In info center, it has a lot of different questions for commonly asked questions and answers that we do get in terms of just the really the administrative aspect of our events. So, why do we require staking, connecting your Discord, how to join a team or create a team, list of resources and everything, our code of conduct. So and then you can have some information about like when project submission is. So I think there's some miscommunication for our super hack, but ETHOnline technically goes until I think the 29th of October, but your project is due on the 22nd. And the reason why is because we do a couple of different aspects for judging. So, and here we go to project judging. Projects are due on the 22nd of October, but then their projects are whittled down to ones that go from round 1 to round 2. And this is basically, ensuring that you meet the main criteria in terms of like making sure that your video is at least 2 to 4 minutes long, that it's audible, you can hear that the code is there. It's nothing too, I guess, like crazy. Like most people's projects do tend to make it to the next round. But one thing, actually, I don't know if Kartik will explain this in more detail during the opening ceremony. It's not actually here yet, but I think it's something that maybe we should add. So I will make a note to add this here. And it's making sure that you sort of follow the judging submission guidelines. And so I'll go through this in a little second, but yeah, so just to really quickly, the project judging is on the 22nd, and then the teams that go to round 2 will be decided on the 23rd, and then the 24th will be the live round, the live judging. So that's when that determines if you will become an ETHGlobal finalist or not. And so there's a couple of different tracks, right? So there's the main project judging and the partner judging. Let me just go back here real quick. When you go to your project, the project tab, and then if you click select prizes, you'll see here what you want to do. So top 10 finalists and partner prizes, or partner prizes only. The top 10 finalists means that you will present your the demo video that you'll need to create, the 2 to 4 minute video that kind of displays talks about your project, does the demo, maybe has some slides that kind of talks about the background and why you're creating it. That's kind of you'll be judged on that Monday, the 23rd, and then the 24th, that's what you would present to 2 judges in 2 rooms. So there would be 2 volunteers, they'll share your video, and then you'll be asked they'll play your video, and then the judges will ask you a couple questions for 3 minutes. And so that's what happens on Tuesday. And then from that, if you're selected as a top 10 or top 14 finalist, then you would go on to present during the finale, which is that Friday. And so the finale is what I was showing earlier with the from last year's event. So this is you're actually doing a live demonstration. You're not playing a video. We're not playing a video for you. You're on a screen and walking through your project and walking through your demo. So this is something that's done live. So the video, the actual video that you create, that's just for to get you to this point, to the finalist point, basically. But then the video also is used by the partners. So if I go back, there was partner prizes only. So whenever you select a partner that you want to apply for, they're going to see your demo video, and that's what they're going to look at to determine whether or not you get a partner prize. So the demo video is very important in this regard, because it's what the partners look at, and it's what the judges will look at if you do the top 10 finalists. So I guess to make sure that it's not too confusing, it's required to provide a demo video. The demo video will be played during the live judging, if you make it to the round 2 of live judging, which is on the Tuesday, the 24th. And this is part of the top 10 finalist track. And if you happen to make it to the top 10 finalists or top 10 14 finalists, you will then present live during the closing ceremony on the Friday of that week. And then the video doesn't matter at this point, because you'll actually be doing a live demo of your project. And then if you're doing just partner prizes, the videos are again important, because it's what the partner judges look at and to determine, if you should get a prize from them. So yeah, hopefully that kind of clarifies it. And if you again maybe have a little confusion on what the video, what a good demo video is, if you go down here to media upload, this is where you upload your video, and here is an example of a video that somebody did. Once the ad goes away, to kind of give you a better idea for what goes into a video. But also, everybody, if you go to the Twitter page, the top 10 finalists, the showcase, if you go to a project showcase page, then you can also see their video here as well. And for those that are just joining, I'll go ahead and drop the link again. This is to the Twitter. This is to the last year's finale, the closing ceremony. Okay, so there's a question. The live present needs complete front-end development, or Figma and back-end and contract interactions are enough? Well, so that's the thing, right? So the judges, I'm not a judge. I don't actually judge the projects. The judges will look at, let me go back. If I go back, oh wait, it's over here. If I go to the info center, rules, project submissions, and judging. So again, this has more key information. This talks about the sort of like the qualifications for, here it is, the qualifications for round 1. So the video presentation and quality, the live demo quality when you're actually doing your demo within the video, and then your use of the git commit history. And then yeah, here it clarifies, partner judging will take place async kind of throughout those couple of days after Sunday when you submit your project. Let me see. So if I scroll all the way down, judging criteria. So, I mean, there isn't, this is kind of what the judges are looking at, these 5 different categories. So somebody was asking about front end. Somebody was asking about, oh yeah, I guess mostly front end questions. But I think from what I've seen based on previous, hackathons and events, the front end is important, but also I think it's really what really wows judges too is if, does it work? So if you're developing something that's really just technically advanced and hard and badass, that might really wow a lot of judges compared to if it maybe does or doesn't look pretty. And or vice versa. Maybe there's a really great concept that holy crap, like this is actually a really neat idea. But it's too technical to really complete within the course of 3 or 4 weeks or something. But it looks, visually looks outstanding. And the idea itself is just like, I've never heard this idea before, this concept before. I could see so much potential with this, and that could really also, please and impress judges too. So, it's a lot of wiggle room. I mean, judging it in itself is very, it's very just, it depends on the person and perception. There's a lot of different factors that go involved from when a judge is thinking about something. Maybe they're just approaching it from a completely different way than another judge. That's why we have 2 judges per room, just to kind of provide that sort of, try to balance it out. But I think it just really depends, ultimately, if I were hacking, I would try to, do something that's just very technically, that somehow, I guess, really just it can change society, benefits the world in some shape or form. And if it doesn't look as good, then that's fine. It's something I'm willing to accept. But ultimately, I think it really just depends on, are you challenging yourself? Are you pushing yourself out of your comfort zone too? Some people, I think, that come to our events, they're not necessarily looking to win just the prizes or become finalists. It's about learning, it's about growing, it's about, figuring out how to do Solidity or Rust, or, work with maybe a particular tech stack partner that you haven't worked with in the past. So, I think all of those can be considered success, in my opinion. And the fact that you're here, the fact that you're trying, I think is also really incredible as well. So, the other thing too is, it is a hackathon. There are certain deadlines too. So I guess you don't want to also try and boil the ocean over the next couple of weeks, or take on something that's so incredibly hard that you won't be able to finish. So it's, there's it's very qualitative, and you don't know, I guess, know your limits, know what you're capable of. So maybe that was probably a better way of putting it. Know what you're capable of doing. But there's certainly nothing wrong with challenging yourself over the next couple of weeks either. So I just seeing how far you can push yourself. I think that's the reward in and of itself. Let me see. So there was a question. I want to do a pretty complicated project. If it's just front end or video, and I'll explain in pitch deck how to connect to Web3, would that be a legit summation? I think so. I mean, we do have designers that maybe don't have necessarily like the hardcore dev background or experience, but they're brilliant, designers or storytellers. And so, I mean, that definitely counts as a project submission. Like that, you can definitely submit that. And I think, yeah, if you're able to find a way to explain how it connects to Web3 or whatever you're trying to do, then again, that totally counts. If I were you, I would definitely say, try to find other team members, people to join your team, maybe some devs to kind of help you fulfill this vision of the project. So I think at that point, then you have to become a really good storyteller and just a salesman to convince folks to join your cause and your team. But yeah, I think what you're saying, that's a legit summation for sure. Let me make sure I didn't miss any other questions. I think I'm good. Okay, there was another question. Participating in ETHGlobal could prevent us from joining the Dev Connect hackathon happening in Istanbul in November? ? No, if you do or don't participate in this event, it will have no effect on ETHGlobal Istanbul. What it might have an effect on is if you participate, or you participate, but then you don't submit a project. So this is kind of going a little off topic, but I guess it's an important question. I think that I do get asked after an event happens. So our event, ETHGlobal Istanbul, is an in real life event. It happens in November. It coincides with DevConnect, and it's going to be a very popular event. So our in real life events were limited by venue capacity. We can't admit everybody to our in real life events. So whenever the application reviewers look at applications, they'll see your past ETHGlobal history. Are you past hacker, for example? And then if you are past hacker, have you submitted projects at our past events? Because we want people to build at our events. We want people to take advantage of the opportunities to build, to form teams, meet people, network, to attend workshops, to learn. And if hackers are attending our events, but they're not really submitting projects or building, it could be viewed as a negative in future applications for future events, because there could be, by you going and not submitting a project, that's taking away a spot that somebody else could go and submit a project, or they have a really great idea and they want to submit a project. So we want to make sure that everybody that is accepted to, especially to our in real life events, that they are taking advantage of the opportunities and building. So it depends. Again, as I said, ETHGlobal will probably be very popular, and we can't admit everybody. So if you are thinking about applying, and we just always suggest make sure that you're taking advantage, you submit a project, and it doesn't have to be completely completely like 100% good. There's the mantra, ship early, ship often, right? Even if it does have a few bugs or kinks, or it's not maybe up to your standards. It's better to ship than to not do anything at all, because at least it shows that you've done something. So I think that's kind of the suggestion I would give to that. Let's see, if I want to opt out due to some job reasons, will it also affect? If people can't, obviously, life happens. So if you're working, you're hacking, and then something comes up in the middle of the event, and it's unavoidable and just doesn't take time from you, just send an email to hello@ethglobal.com. And we can certainly, assess the situation. And some people, they have to withdraw their applications and get their stake refunded, because it just something, really life impacting came up, and so just can't be avoided, right? So I mean, we certainly understand life happens, stuff happens. So we would just say, whatever, something does happen, let us know as soon as possible, so that way we can assess the situation accordingly, make sure that everything's taken care of beforehand too. Let's see, another question. I was on ETHGlobal online event before, but I cannot submit on time. Does that impact this year's event judgment? No, again, it depends, right? I mean, I would, we do keep a record of any sort of reasons that people may have come across why they couldn't submit a project or attend or something. So we have records of these. But yeah, I wouldn't say it would impact. And again, life happens, right? Let's see, do you have to choose a partner beforehand, or only at submission of the project? That's a good question. So yeah, no, you don't have to. So if I go back, yeah, for the partners, because you can, if you go back to the project tab, this can be updated, up until the last minute. So if maybe you initially wanted to select a Wormhole Foundation, but then realize, oh, actually I can't do this, or it's not going to work out, you can always just remove them from your application. So, but this can be updated as often as once this UI opens up. This UI doesn't open up until closer to project submission anyway. So but yeah, the other thing too I wanted to mention, before I forget, just make sure I got my notes, is project check-ins. So there will be, if I go back to the dashboard, because the UI is not there yet. Okay, so let me see what I can do real quick. What's the best way? Yeah, so, okay, if you go to the schedule, and then this is, let's see, Friday to the 16th. Yeah, next week, we're gonna have a project feedback session. This, in your dashboard, there'll be UI that says project check-in. So yeah, so Mira asked about this. Yeah, the project check-in. So this is just an opportunity for you all to answer some questions. And really, we're looking at, are you blocked on anything? Are you stuck with a particular, just something that you're trying to build, or working with a particular partner? We're really looking at to see if, if there's something you're stuck on, and how can we help you? So we use this as an opportunity for folks to make sure that it's, you're not stuck on anything, and that we can get you unblocked, and that way you can continue building and progressing. So well, it's just a way for us to, again, making sure that you're still building, that you're working, that you don't have any issues, that you're able to kind of continue working on your project. But yeah, so we have this one, project check-in number 1 due, and then we have the second one, another opportunity the following week for you to check in with us. So again, it's a UI that'll open up on your dashboard. It'll say like project check-in number 1, project check-in number 2. And so yeah, and then I look through everybody's check-ins just to make sure that you're not stuck on anything. And if you're not stuck on anything, then great, perfect. That's a fantastic. If you are, this is what I'll read your comment, I'll figure out what the problem is, and I'll try and find a solution for you, whether that's put you in touch with somebody from the team, or answer maybe a particular question that you may have. And if it's very technical, then again, that'll be a question probably for our partners. So our partners will read your project check-ins too. So be as specific as possible with the project check-ins, because they'll be reading this too, and it'll help you just kind of become unblocked. So ultimately, the goal is for making sure that whenever you do some of your projects on the 22nd of October, that you feel confident and comfortable when you do so. And this means that we've given you as many opportunities as possible to make sure to voice your concern if you have any. But yeah, that's what project check-ins are all about. So thank you, Miro, for reminding me and asking that question. Yeah, does somebody have a question? Okay.
Can I do it talking instead of writing?
Yeah. If anybody has a question like that wants to verbally talk, yeah, that's fine too.
Okay. My question is, I have an idea. I've been working in my mind a long time ago, but of course I will start coding in this week. But I don't know if I will be able in these 3 weeks to put a technology that perhaps I will like in these 3 weeks. Can I put, for example, I don't know, Uniswap, whatever. I don't know if I will get to include that technology. When I should do the check-in to say I have included this technology. I know I will get to that, to include that technology.
Sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, I mean, in these 3 weeks, I don't know how much I will. Yeah, I don't. The scope of the project, it will be different if I have a team, if I work, if I go solo or whatever. So I don't know if I will get to put, for example, some technology or not. I don't know yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, if you do the check-in and you list maybe that, yeah, you're working with Uniswap, whatever, and then it changes completely, that's fine too. Like people do that, right? They realize, actually, I came across something else, so I'm going to do this instead. So yeah, I mean, that's totally acceptable. Like, it's not, you're not bound to what your comments are, or your blockers are in your project check-ins, right? So it's if you say that in the first project check-in, and by the next one, actually you say you realize that I'm not doing that anymore, I'm doing this. So that's totally fine. So my job is to make sure that whatever you're currently stuck on at that point in time gets resolved. And then hopefully, if maybe, like as you said, if it's something that in the first project check-in with maybe Uniswap, and then it gets resolved, and great, hopefully that maybe continues to lead you down, that path. And if no solution could be found, then that might lead you to start another path. So that's kind of the point of the check-ins too. It's just to make sure that that you're sort of on the right path or not, because some people do pivot, right? It's common for that to happen. So hopefully that's kind of why we have them. Just it gets you all thinking about maybe problems that you might be facing earlier rather than later.
Okay, thanks.
Let me see. Did I miss any questions? MVP? Is that a question, Julian, or a comment? A comment about what I was saying, maybe? Oh, comment. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so I mean, I think that basically covers all that I wanted to share. Again, if you kind of join late, I'll just quickly go over, making sure that you keep an eye on the Discord, that your Hacker Dashboard is connected to Discord. If I go back to the project, I don't know if Julio's on here, but I'm kind of using your profile as an example. Sorry, dashboard. And to find team members, make sure that you opt in to agree your username being shared, find team members. You can search and filter through this. And you can click on an individual's Discord handle, and then it'll take you directly to their profile where you can send them a message or add them as a friend. And this just is an easier way for you all to connect. There is also, I forgot to mention this, but I did create a team formation, a voice channel. So that way, if you all wanted to, if maybe you'd rather just speak with somebody, then this gives you a platform to do so, maybe with another hacker or a team to huddle, instead of having to go to Zoom or anything else. But this is open for anybody to use if they should desire to do so. And there was what do you expect in team formation session? The team formation session, yeah, that's a good question. So again, it'll be a format where if anybody's done our in real life events, it's sort of you come together, we're in Zoom, and you introduce yourself, share your ideas, share maybe what you're looking for in terms of a teammate, share who you are, what you are, if you're a dev, a designer, or full stack engineer, and you're looking for, I don't know, front end, back end, whatever. Then everybody has the opportunity to do that. And then I'll create breakout rooms where anybody can go specifically talk to somebody in a particular room. That way it's a bit more intimate, and you're not having to, maybe you already know the connection that you want to build with a particular team member or somebody. So that's kind of what the format of team formation sessions are. But yeah, it's kind of like a speed dating, but it's over Zoom virtually. Can you go over find team member again? Yeah, so I think I just did that, but Miro, did you want me to go over it again, or was this delayed? But basically, yeah, if you go to your dashboard and then you scroll down to find your team, I agree to my Discord name, find team members, then it'll take you to this whole list. And then, yeah, if you click on anybody's, the filters and the everything, this works. So hackers that want to join teams look for members. I said I would add a time zone, trying to add a time zone field to this later, so that way people know what time zones they're in. If you click on, it's the Discord handle, it'll take you to their actual profile where you can, send a friend request, DM them, message them, connect with them more easily. So that was that. And then there was also I wanted to share this again too, the more visual representation for finding team members. There was a question on know your thoughts on new technologies or solutions I would like to see in this event. Ooh, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, it's personally, I'm from the States, so I try to connect with folks in other regions that maybe just have a completely different way of life than I do, in terms of how they have to get by throughout the day, or if they have to send money to relatives in another part of the world. So I guess I'm come from more like the public goods aspect. I would love to see maybe more public goods projects or solutions. As far as technologies, yeah, I'm not really sure. There's a lot. I need to do more research on new partners that we have for this event too. How many participants were we for this online session? I think at most we had about 75 participants. I don't know the exact number, Julian. And then I'm not sure how many people are watching on Zoom. Haven't checked that yet. Let's see. Question: is it required to complete the full project in order to submit it, or can we just submit at whatever stage it would get billed to the last moment? Yeah, you can. Like, I mean, whenever you go back to the project submissions page, yeah, you'll be able to. I mean, like to be honest, I have right now I've got like test data and stuff, but I would say submit it as best as you can. Like, it should definitely be taken seriously. But if there's, if it's maybe not up to the best state at the end, that's fine too. You can of course, you can also provide a reason, like maybe what happened as well. But yeah, I mean, it's I would try to do as best you can, and then also just maybe take into consideration that you're given 2 to 3 weeks to work on this on a project. So just make sure that whether it's really technically challenging or not, that you're kind of able to do as much as you can without overdoing it. Of course, like without completely stressing yourself out and making it not enjoyable, because we want to make sure that it is enjoyable for everybody. Cool. Well, I've got a few more minutes, but yeah, I mean that's basically it. I mean, the one main thing I mentioned earlier that tends to get people mixed up is, projects are due on the 22nd, and then we have until the 27th, but the 27th is when the finale is. So the asynchronous judging takes place 23rd, live project judging 24th, and then in between that, projects being reviewed, the codes being reviewed, partners are reviewing their prizes. So, and then whoever's going to be a finalist, they'll have some time to prep for the finale on the 27th. So just remember that the projects are due on the 22nd, not the 27th. The 27th is when the finale actually happens. And yeah, if there are any questions, again, just feel free to send a message to hello@ethglobal.com. Take advantage of using Discord. Keep in touch with your partners here. If you have questions, ask the partners in their Discord channels. Keep an eye on the event schedule page or channel, the information channel. I've provided some more, this is another ping that I did, I think earlier this week. So if you haven't seen that, it kind of goes over again what I said. So if you maybe forgot where something was, chances are it'll be in this little message that was sent. And then, yeah, if you do have any specific questions, like chances are it'll be, I mean, 9900% sure that you'll be able to answer. You'll find your answer here, especially in the info center as well. But yeah, thank you all for attending, and yeah, happy hacking, and don't be afraid to reach out and ask any questions if you have any.